how are you? I hope you're doing well. I'm doing well myself. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Nduts or Auntie Wamaju, and I'm so glad to be back with another one. I'm sure you had fun making the bread. Just keep practicing. Bread making is one skill that will make you look like a pro, like you know so many things. Yeah, so today I'm going to still make bread. Yeah, we're going to make it together, and I'm going to make buns for some sandwiches. Yeah, we're going to make chicken sandwich. We'll serve it so nicely with lettuce and a tomato, steak tomato. Will be nice. So this is one recipe that you also have to practice a lot to get it, and I'm using a unique tray for it, but you can totally just use a flat tray. I'm doing that because I want a longer bun, and so the recipe is going to give us sort of a strong dough that will rise well. Yeah, we'll have room for rising without collapsing later. So it's vital that we use the right temperatures for this dough. Very important, but also not so strict. So you can use the probe thermometer or use just your finger. If you can put your finger in the water and just keep it there for a while, then it means it's just warm enough to bloom the yeast, yeah, without killing it. So that is very important. Today in this particular recipe, I'm using milk, 200 ml of milk, and I'm using 100 ml of water. But what I did with the water, my 100 ml of water is what I used to bloom the yeast. So I was checking if it's alive because I was using this yeast, active dry yeast. You can use instant yeast. Both these yeasts are very active, yeah. So with the instant yeast, it takes away the worry of whether it will bloom or not. It's supposed to, yeah. But with this, it's good to just check if it's alive, especially this one because it's been in my cupboard for very long. But I bloomed it, and yes, it's alive and well. So we are going to use it in this recipe, and actually let's get to it and do it. We are going to do the buns and also do the chicken. It's going to be amazing. Karibu. Hey, so let's do this. We have the milk and the water with the yeast. The milk, we're checking the temperature. It's about 110. Very good. The yeast mixture is about 80 degrees. Let's just see. And that is good because it's been sitting there for a while. Overall, we'll get a warm mixture because of the milk. And aside from that, we have the butter, we have the sugar, we have the salt, we have 2 eggs for the mixture, and we have 1 egg aside for the egg wash, as well as the sesame seeds that we'll add on top. Okay, and as far as the flour is concerned, I'm using bread flour. It tends to be very strong and good for the bread, and I'll be using 600 grams, which is the same as about 3 cups of flour. So there we go, and I'm adding it directly to my mixer bowl, and then we'll add all the wet ingredients. The eggs are in room temperature. We tend to keep our eggs in the fridge here, so if you're baking, you want to take the eggs out and put in warm water, or just take them out about 30 minutes and keep in room temperature before you start baking. It's very important to bring all your baking ingredients to room temperature before you start baking. It will give you better results. With the dry ingredients already mixed in with the flour, we add our wet ingredients, which is butter, the milk, the yeast mixture, and the eggs, 2 eggs, and we proceed outside to the kitchen aid and mix our mixture. Remember, you can do this by hand. Just do it for a bit longer, about 15 minutes. It's very good practice, and you just want to stretch it until until the dough comes together and there are no lumps. So I'm going to start at this setting, number 1, and you can increase speed as the dough comes together. So if you need to increase your speed as you make the dough, you can only do that up to number 2. With this very thick dough, you never want to overwork your kitchen aid. If you're making chapati or bread dough, this kind of dough, you never want to go up to number 3. You want to do only between 1 and 2. So at some point you want to pinch out a piece of your dough and check against the light how it's working out. If it's tearing easily, it's still not done. So that's what I'm checking here, the strength of my dough. As you can clearly see, my dough is still not done, so I'm going to give it a bit, about 3 more minutes. And you need a bread scraper for when you're mixing your bread in a mixer, so that you scrape everything from the bowl when you do want to transfer.
I dare you to fix me. I'm crossing the line again, falling on my knees.
This is it now. Our dough is ready. We transfer it to an oiled bowl and let it rest for about an hour. After about 1 hour, you want to get out your dough and punch it out. I usually don't need it after this. I just roll it out with my hands and divide the mixture. I want about 6 rolls on each half of the dough, and yeah, that's what I went for, even though I divided more. So get a 6. It's a good size, but these were actually mini buns. You can get bigger if you divide the rolls into 8 instead of 12 buns, but these were just as good, and they looked very beautiful once we did the sandwich. Perfect. This is the tray I'm going to use. I wanted the buns to fit in, but since I did smaller size buns, this was a little large, but at least it separated the dough. So once we have our tray ready, we want to brush it with oil so that our buns do not stick. You also can use a flat tray. This is very ideal when you're measuring very big buns, which did not happen in our case. But all the same, you want to brush oil on your trays and get them ready and transfer the balls of dough so that they can proof. Place the balls of dough on the oil tray and let them proof for about 15 minutes, and they'll be good to go. Once the dough is proofed, you want to beat an egg and egg wash your buns. Just apply the egg like that and add the sesame seeds, and this will adhere to the bun because of the egg, and you can bake this at 400 degrees for 15 minutes or thereabouts.
Yeah, came at 17. Damn.
In the meantime, you want to prepare your meat. I'm using chicken tenders, not chicken breast. Chicken breast would be best for this, but I wanted a tender meat. But you have to deal with this fiber in the chicken tenderloin. So you can pull it using a fork. Just hold it back and pull the fiber, or you can use a knife to do just like I'm doing. And I don't have a chicken masher or a meat masher, so I'm using the back of my knife just to flatten the meat a bit. You want that so that the chicken cooks through once you coat it with the seasoned flour. So I'm doing this, and then I'm gonna season the meat and keep it aside to marinate. Best seasoning for me it would be some paprika, some salt and pepper, and some herbs. I'm using Italian herbs because it's a good mixture of herbs, and I'll add some oil as well. Then keep it aside to marinate. This can keep for about 30 minutes to 1 hour, depends on you. You can also do it overnight. More time, more flavor. You want to flavor the flour that you will dredge the chicken in. So I added paprika, salt and pepper. That is quite enough unless you want to do more. So this is the process. We are going to add our chicken, our marinated chicken into the seasoned flour, and then dip it into our egg wash. This is just egg beaten together with some water. No need to season because the chicken is already seasoned. And then you want to dredge it in the flour just like this, and we double dipping the chicken will ensure that we get a nice thick crispy skin, and we are going to repeat this on most of the pieces. In the meantime, our oil is heating, and as soon as it's ready we will start frying our chicken. So you want to fry and flip it until you ensure it's done and it's the right color that you desire. Perfect, our chicken is ready, and you can use a soft bun or a toasted bun to assemble. I'm going to add some mayo on this bun, and I'm going to also use some salsa because we don't use ketchup anymore. Nothing wrong with ketchup, we just don't have it. And I'm going to spread the mayo and add some salsa. This is store-bought salsa. You can use homemade salsa. And then you want to add the leaf just like that, and add a slice of steak tomato, and then choose a chicken that is wide enough to make a burger. And that's how we did it. In the meantime, we have to make some keto burgers too. And how I did it is using 1 cup of almond flour, half a cup of cheese and 2 eggs. Mix that, and we're going to make 2 simple burgers out of this. We're going to use a waffle maker because it cooks it faster and shapes it well. So that's exactly how we did it. And you don't have to season this because the cheese is quite salty, and we made 2 out of this. And the chicken for the keto burger was grilled because we can't use the flour. So we assembled the keto burger as well. We used some mayo and some salsa, and the same, we used a leaf lettuce and a tomato slice and brought it together, served with the side of a baby spinach for to make it a meal, and also some baby carrots and sweet peppers. For the other burger, you can serve with fries or whatever you desire. Serve it also with a nice yummy drink like a soup or a bone broth. Goes very well together. But this is how we finished this keto meal. And if you desire to make this kind of meal, it's quite easy, and you just use the ingredients you have. Very easy to bring together, very delicious. Get creative with it. It's really, really good, and it was really yummy. So here are the burgers, and these were really, really good. I would suggest you try. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.